Hi, and welcome to this edition of Meet and Geek. My name is Matt. I am joined, as always, by our good friend Robert from ActiveImage. It's quite an intro.
Oh,
the only thing missing from that intro, since you are circling the globe this time of year, would be Santa. It is the gift-giving season, is it not?
Santa spelled backwards is Atnaz. Atnaz, which means absolutely nothing to anyone in the world. So I was going more towards the UFO thing. The only thing you left out of alien invasion, but
alien.
We're trying to keep it fair and balanced when we do these. So that was passive aggressive, I suppose.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
So, well, like I said, it is the gift-giving season. So, what goodies have you brought me this time, Robert?
Oh, I see what you did there. You inserted the word time. If anyone had read their email or looked at the website, they see our little invitation talks about time. So,
time,
isn't it time right now? Yes.
The babies.
What was your question again?
Well,
can someone get that, please? Thank you. Okay.
Well, I was trying to go through the press release and wow, somebody really wants you to buy that auto warranty. I was going through the press release, trying to figure out all of the references. I picked up on the babies, picked up on the Chambers brothers, and I'm really stalling until somebody picks up that phone.
I don't know if there's anyone here. If the dogs will even pick it up. I'm waiting for the answering machine to do it. So
the dogs
did I say answering machine? I meant the voicemail.
The dogs can't. You know why the dogs can't do it, right?
Because they don't have opposable thumbs.
Very good. Somebody's been reading their Seinfeld. All right, let's get back to it.
Okay.
Tell me, what have you brought this month?
What I have brought with me was I just would like to touch on some of the new features for ActiveImage Protector 2022.
If we're going to do that, I want to start somewhere.
Okay. Okay. You start. Well,
I want to start somewhere. I don't because I don't know. I see it here. I see a lot of glare, and that's only because I haven't been able to go through and update the lighting and get everything figured out with my laptop because my laptop went out on me.
Oh. And
I am still trying to recover. And so I get right to one point here.
I didn't realize you had that kind of relationship with your laptop.
Oh, man, it was brutal. Rescue boot. Help me out.
Okay, we'll start there. That's one of the new features, Rescue Boot. During one of our webinars, we talked about the boot environment, in which you can create an ISO file that essentially brings you to the ActiveImage Protector GUI interface. And that's what boots up your machine off of a CD-ROM. Some of you may or may not know what that is, or a DVD-ROM, or what's it called? Those little flash drives, those little memory sticks you can stick into the USB drive. Right. Or you can just use another hard drive and create the boot environment onto a hard drive you connect via USB as well. However, there is another there, as Yoda would say, there is another. Or was that Obi-Wan? I don't remember. Never mind. My apologies to the Star Wars fans for misquoting one of the characters. We have what's called the pre-boot. And what that does is you go through the same process of creating a boot environment that you're going to end up putting on a USB stick or a CD-ROM, whatever. But in this instance, you can put that boot environment onto the hard drive in the system volume. And what happens when you reboot the machine, you have the option of booting into the boot environment or booting into your operating system. It'll come up every time. And it is not as the process does not take nearly as long as you creating that ISO file or creating a recovery disk onto a CD or other media. It's very simple. In fact, I've got it on my screen here, and I'm going to share that screen.
Oh, excellent.
So that folks can see that. Let's see if I've got the right screen here. Bada bing. There it is.
Very nice.
Okay. It's just a button right here. It's called Rescue Boot. And you're not required to download the ADK from Microsoft in order to create this Rescue Boot. But once you toggle this switch on, it's there every time you reboot. And every time you have to turn your machine off and turn it on, you're going to have a choice to either boot into the machine, the system, the operating system, or you're going to boot into the ActiveImage Protector boot environment, which is essentially what you're looking at now, except nothing else is loaded, no operating system. And what's the advantage here? Well, what the advantage is you still have access to all those files on the hard drive. You're just not booted into Windows. And then you can go ahead and perform a backup or recovery or navigate through in order to pull some files off, etc. So it's just another tool that has been, streamlined for easier use for, people like you who just have a laptop and maybe you don't have a network drive or you maybe, don't your kids use tablets and such? There are no USB drives on those, especially if they're Windows-based tablets. You could use this to at least access that by going into the Rescue Boot after installing ActiveImage Protector.
Okay.
So that's what the Rescue Boot is about, and it's just a matter of switching that on. Okay?
You mentioned a couple of things when you were going through that. You mentioned backing up, recovering, and I think we talked about this last time because I'm doing this. I have decided to get away from my external hard drive, and I am looking at cloud services. AIP, ActiveImage Protector, allows direct-to-cloud backup, right?
Well, AIP 2022 does.
Okay.
You may have started because this just came out. You may have started with ActiveImage Protector 2018.
Right. I did start out with 18, and then I'm upgrading to 22.
2022. The closest thing we had to a cloud backup at that time was replication, and essentially, simply put, it's another process that, without rehashing the last few webinars, that is an additional step to copy that backup image to the cloud. Okay, that you do your backup, and as part of your post-backup process, you say, send that to the cloud when we're done.
Okay.
All right. So that is another copy process altogether. Remember we worked with the image manager, as well, which is the free add-on you can get that allows you to schedule replication. Where if you do it through ActiveImage Protector, it's a post-backup job that occurs every time you run a backup. So we eliminate that with direct-to-cloud storage or direct-to-cloud backup. I'm going to share that screen again.
Excellent. Yeah.
And here we go. We are back into the GUI interface. And what we're going to do is we're going to click Volume Backup here. And we're just going to check the only volume I've got because I'm running a virtual machine here. And from there, we hit Next. And here we go. We've seen this screen before.
Right.
This is the destination. Now, here's the difference here. When we go into the destination folder, we're going to select a folder. And what pops up is your local drives and disks, and then you can click on your network and look for other drives and disks that are scattered about your network. But we've added a few things. There's Microsoft Azure, Amazon S3, and secure FTP as destinations, not where the backup is being replicated to, but where the backup is going directly.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can, I'm not saying discard that external drive that you're so accustomed to backing up to. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is this is just another option. As long as you're subscribed to one of these cloud services, you can run a backup directly to that cloud service.
Right.
So when you say, for example, Amazon S3, again, if you're familiar and you have a subscription, you're going to know what your access key ID is, your secret key, and you get to specify a region. And in this case, we're just going to do U.S. West, Northern California, because I'm close to Northern California. And then you specify the type of provider, and you connect. And then from there, you up, because now you're assuring yourself that you're backing up directly to the cloud, offsite somewhere. Mm-hmm. So that is what I think is a long time coming. We needed to do this. We need to be, because it's almost as if everyone has a piece of the cloud. But for their storage needs,
right?
If you want to share photos or documents or collaborate, these cloud services are offering. I mean, it's as if Larry Ellison was right. No one's really going to need anything locally. As long as we have internet access, we can share things. We can collaborate. You and I do that all the time. We collaborate through what is it, Google. Google Docs, which is nice, but there's Microsoft. Microsoft has the Office 365, in which allows collaboration on documents and spreadsheets, and it makes it so much easier for the workflow, because you don't have to send an actual solid piece of copy on paper. You just forward it on, and here are the edits I made. Please read my edits. Please update what you want. And it's nice because you get to keep a version history. But I'm getting into something else. I'll stop.
Yeah, definitely in the current environment we're working in right now, where so many of us are working remotely.
Exactly.
Yeah, having cloud capability is, I think, absolutely necessary. But you bring up something else, and I just personally experienced this. I've backed or replicated or backed up directly to the cloud, but I'm needing to pull that stuff down. So let's get to in-cloud recovery.
In-cloud recovery, boom, 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 file liner, volume. And again, here we go. Under network, select a recovery point. So you go into your Amazon S3 and you punch in your credentials, and bada bing, you're going to see your source computers where the backups are. And then you can pull down or select a recovery point, because you'll have different versions. You already schedule backups. In fact, we were talking a few moments ago, and I got a backup, just got started. So you were running a backup earlier today. That point of recovery is already there, and it's stamped, and you know when that was taken. So it's not necessary that you get the last one. Maybe you have deleted a document that you thought you shouldn't have gotten rid of. You can go back and recover that, or recover the entire operating system or the entire volume. But that's what's nice. You have an in-cloud recovery. Again, and I got to emphasize this, that if you're not running machines up there, there's going to be an added cost, because most of the time a home user like you is just going to use that for storage. But if you're going to take advantage of some of their other services through Microsoft or through Amazon, like creating another machine on the recovery, you can do that as well. But just keep in mind, just like when they ask you to text and it says your local text rates may apply. It's not a free text that you get back from yourself. This is the same thing. If you're not signed up to have virtual machines up there in the cloud that you can access and work off of, and we're still here. Just keep that in mind when you're doing that. So All right, and so our next feature.
Okay, so now there's got to be some licensing, right?
Well, there's activation, which is part of the whole
Right.
licensing scheme, but let's keep them separate. I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going to do.
Okay.
Okay, what I'm going to do right now is share the screen that has the GUI interface, and then bring that down. Okay, and where we're going with this is we go to the help file.
Okay.
And we're not going to show the help, but what we're going to do is you have license here and check for update. So, okay, what I did is I came over and I captured the screen that shows license and activation status, because there's extra stuff in which requires you to scroll down. So rather than leaving it there, I took a picture. So it's a picture that's static and it's not going to move. And the other reason is I had to blur out my serial number, my activation key, because I didn't want to display that for everyone.
We can't all get it for free.
No, can't do that. Well, anyway, this shows that I activated the product key that I input when I installed the software, and I did this over the internet because I have an internet connection. Right. However, as we talked before, there are situations and environments in which not everybody has access to the internet, or the IT guy can't go and activate the product if he's installing it on workstations. And never mind that you don't have to do that anymore, because you can push the ActiveImage Protector agent out to various workstations and servers from a single point of access. But what we offer now is authentication and activation product, which is called the AAS. It's the Activation Authentication Server. And what that does is it allows you to install a service into a single point on the network, a workstation or a server, that allows you to, it goes out and it activates on your behalf and sends the activation back to the machine, so that you can use the software. That's if you're in a closed environment. Now, if you have one that times out from day to day, at certain times it's only accessible, maybe it's a proxy server. We also have license file authentication, in which you create a license file on your own when you can access the online server. You punch in all those activation keys, and then it comes back, and you now have a license file in which you can click down here, create and import a license file, just like you're doing the authentication server activation or the online. In other words, you have a multitude of options to activate the software without actually being connected to the internet. But if you're already connected to the internet, no problem. But it's nice to give folks the option, especially some MSPs out there in which they have clients in which they have closed networks or closed environments that don't allow everyone access, because they keep everything in-house, which they, in terms of what they do as far as productivity is concerned. So that's the activation server that's configured separately, so you can get your software up and running.
Okay, let's go back at the very beginning. You mentioned that eventually the trial will run out. We won't be able to do one or the other, and we need both.
Right.
What kind of subscription licenses do you have?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I totally forgot about that. Again, we have a number of licensing options, and we have just added subscription license, because that seems to be the trend. If you've ever gone out and tried to buy software now, you're paying a monthly fee. Right. But again, people say, well, then they've locked us in. Not necessarily. There are situations out there where you don't really need to go out and spend an enormous amount of money in order to get one piece of software on one machine. Or sometimes you're granted licenses to go to X number of machines. But if you have a subscription license, it's a nominal fee in which you get to use the software. And of course, you can cancel it at any time as well too. We now provide a subscription-based model in order to use ActiveImage Protector, because I don't know, maybe companies are nomadic, or maybe they're constantly changing out hardware, or maybe they're reducing the amount or increasing the amount of hardware, and it's more cost effective to subscribe rather than to just straight out purchase.
Right. Yeah.
And with a subscription, you're always going to have the most current product. Whereas you make a purchase, there may be an upgrade fee later on, or after your maintenance is expired, there may be a cost to re-up. So ultimately, you got to figure out what's going to be best for you, but it's nice to have the options of subscription-based versus just a straight-out purchase of the software.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Well, Santa Robert, thanks so much for bringing this bag full of goodies.
Well, thank you for having me.
We emptied the bag, didn't we?
I believe we did. Is there anything that I can think of right offhand, or maybe anything you can think of right offhand?
If there's anything I can think of.
Or that you had questions for? No.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, there is something. Whoa. Isn't there a new portal?
A portal? Yes. I'm glad you brought that up. I completely brained up. Okay. Gosh, this is good stuff. Okay. A good thing you're here, because I'd have been done 35 minutes ago.
That's why I'm here.
Okay. The portal service that we have recently introduced. We talked about it on the press release, but I don't have a login because I'm not an MSP that's registered to the portal, but maybe we can get a demonstration of it. What this does is, especially for MSPs or those services that provide a contract to IT services that support the infrastructure, where there are businesses that either won't or can't afford a full-time IT guy.
Right.
And what this enables you to do, this enables the MSP or the contract services to monitor the status of backups and what the agents are doing, and if there are any errors or if they've succeeded, without actually having to go to the location. It's web-based. So it's a portal that gives you all the status, or is it stat-I? I don't know. Statuses of your installations for that particular location. If they have multiple copies or multiple agents installed, you don't have to go all the way down there, or you don't have to use a VPN in order to check it, because sometimes that can be cumbersome. You're not there to remote control and use a machine that's on the premises from a remote location. There could be a number of things done. It's all on a portal that you can get to that's constantly updating this information for you. So, you may be 5 minutes behind the last backup that was just taken, only because the information hasn't been updated, but you can see a history of what's going on. So once you see that, and you see there's error messages that maybe a backup didn't complete, or it bombed out, or there was an error, something may have happened to one of the backup tasks that you had scheduled, or an incremental file didn't work, or maybe it's not running at all because the source, or not the source, but the backup destination is gone. There's a disconnect somewhere. This will give you the information you need to take appropriate action to get to that location and fix whatever it is that might be broken. And at least it gives you a chance to investigate as to why maybe ActiveImage Protector didn't perform that last backup or that last incremental.
Okay.
But that's about it. It's a monitoring tool that gives you all that valuable information so you can take care of your client.
All right. And now the sack of goodies is empty.
Oh, there's a second one?
No, I think we're empty.
We're empty? Oh, okay.
I think for now.
Yeah, the absence of value, empty.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next month.
I guess so.
All right.
I can wait.
Okay.
How
can we access ActiveImage Protector?
Well, go to the website, actify.com. And if you're in the U.S., you'll automatically get redirected to the U.S. site. And from there, you just go to the products page, or there's a trials link right on the front. on the landing page so that you can download for testing and evaluation. So you can download any of the product's trials, whether it's Linux or whether it's going to be for Windows. Just go in, put in your information. You'll get an email with an activation code so you can run your trial. You get 30 days. And if you have questions or comments, by all means, you can email us also at support@actify.com and get any questions answered. Our US number is there too, and so is an email address in order for you to ask questions if you have any questions. So,
in your social media presence,
Facebook, Actify USA, and Twitter, Actify USA, where you'll find links to this webinar that we just did.
Yeah, and as always, a copy of this webcast will be posted to the Actify site as well.
Yes,
and I think
link there. Yes,
I think that wraps it up. Our last Meet and Geek of the calendar year. What do you think?
I think it's been an experience.
It has.
It has been an experience.
For all of the ups and downs.
Yes, that we've gone through. Those are growing pains, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah.
But if I don't see you, have a safe and happy holiday again.
Thank you. You as well.
I'm being neutral there. So
there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So that'll wrap up this edition of Meet and Geek. My name is Matt.
And my name is Robert.
That is Robert from Actify. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. Thanks, Matt.
Bye-bye.